Welcome to our podcast. We're diving into how a monumental wealth transfer is reshaping our economic landscape, especially as older Americans are about to pass on a record $35 trillion.
That's huge. So we're talking about baby boomers and others, right?
Exactly. These older Americans have built up wealth over decades, and now they're starting to transfer it to heirs, and even fueling new investments like home buying, business startups, and extensive charitable giving. It's an economic wave that's sparking real activity.
It's almost like, a literal floodgate opening. This transfer totally shifts the way money flows in our society, right?
It really does, yeah. Just think about it. At the end of the first quarter of this year, Americans aged 70 and above collectively had a net worth near $35 trillion. This group now holds 27% of all U.S. wealth, which is up from 20% just 30 years ago.
Yeah.
The numbers are staggering.
Wow, 27%. That's almost a third of the entire wealth. And if I recall correctly, that net worth actually amounts to 157% of the U.S. GDP.
Yes, absolutely. It's more than double what it was 3 decades ago. So, not only are they holding a larger slice of wealth, but they have wealth that is effectively more than the size of the economy itself. It speaks volumes about the concentration that's built up over time.
It definitely makes you think about what happens next. I mean, when that wealth transfers to the next generation, how do you see it affecting consumer spending, entrepreneurship, or even philanthropy?
Great question. The idea is that transfers like these aren't just moving money from one pocket to another. They're unleashing a torrent of economic activity. Imagine young heirs suddenly having the means to buy homes, start businesses, or give generously to causes. It's like an economic catalyst that could reinvigorate several sectors simultaneously.
I can picture that. A new wave of startups emerging as more people get a boost, kind of like a domino effect. But, do you think there might be challenges here too?
Definitely. There are some challenges. While the wealth transfer is incredibly exciting, its scale means that it's going to reshape financial, social, and even political dynamics. Some argue that it could exacerbate wealth inequality if the process isn't managed well, because the new generation might not distribute wealth as evenly or invest it wisely.
Right?
It's a complex balancing act.
So you're saying that even though we're seeing a historical shift, there needs to be some thought given to ensuring that the benefits are widespread rather than concentrated?
Absolutely. There's a dual potential here. On one hand, these massive transfers can drive innovation, boost local economies, and support philanthropic efforts in a big way. On the other, if not carefully managed, it could deepen the divide in wealth distribution. It's like, handing over a treasure chest without clear guidelines on sharing.
I get that. I mean, while most recipients might use the money constructively, some could also invest in ways that further reinforce existing inequalities. And that's a point worth debating.
Exactly. And this is why many experts are calling for thoughtful estate planning and intergenerational conversations about money. The idea is to encourage both personal responsibility and public benefit. Do you see parallels here with how wealth often sparks debates on taxation or social programs? It's a multi-layered issue.
For sure. And, what do you think about the claim that this transfer is the greatest wealth transfer in modern history? Isn't that an overstatement, or do the numbers really support it?
The numbers are hard to argue with. When you consider that this demographic now holds wealth equal to over 150% of GDP, it certainly qualifies as monumental. It's unprecedented in terms of scale and impact. However, I do wonder if the narrative might overlook some nuances about generational differences in spending habits.
Right, because not every heir will invest or spend that wealth in the same way. Some might be more conservative, others more entrepreneurial. It's almost like we're witnessing a cultural shift in money management.
Spot on. And these shifts can redefine markets in ways we haven't seen before. Think of it as a major reset, where the strategies and priorities for wealth management might completely transform. This could even influence how financial institutions operate. It's a ripple effect across the board.
It sounds like a lot will depend on what frameworks are eventually put in place, both by policymakers and financial advisors, to handle this transfer responsibly.
Exactly. It's about crafting policies that safeguard both individual and societal interests. The inevitable question is, how can we harness this wealth to foster economic growth without leaving vulnerable sectors in the dust? That's the million-dollar question.
And on the flip side, will this create more opportunities for charitable giving? I mean, surely many recipients will feel compelled to give back to their communities.
It could indeed lead to a surge in philanthropy. With such vast resources at their disposal, many might opt to donate to causes they care deeply about, which could help address pressing societal issues. But again, the distribution and impact of that giving could vary widely.
That makes me think, if, let's say, more money is channeled into starting businesses, could we see an era of entrepreneurial renaissance? Or would market saturation and competition become an issue?
It's a double-edged sword. The influx of capital could drive innovation, especially among younger generations who might not have had such opportunities before. However, if too much is concentrated in certain sectors, market imbalances could emerge. It's like planting too many seeds in one field. Some may flourish, others may not get the nutrients they need.
That's a neat analogy, like an over-fertilized garden. And aside from entrepreneurship, there's also the potential boost to the housing market. More buying power could reinvigorate real estate in some areas, right?
Absolutely. When heirs come into this money, home buying is often one of the first things on the agenda. That leads to both increased demand for housing and potential shifts in pricing dynamics in the market. It's a significant factor in local economies too, if you think about it.
So this wealth transfer isn't just a big number on paper. It's going to have tangible effects, from community-level economic activity to broader policy debates.
Yes, and that's what makes it so fascinating. It's an intergenerational moment that carries both immense opportunity and significant responsibility. There's a real need for strategic planning to balance private benefits with broader public good. And it will be interesting to see how all these threads weave together over the coming years.
I can imagine we'll be hearing a lot about these issues in policy circles and on financial news for a while. It's almost like society is on the brink of a major economic evolution.
Indeed, and while the numbers clearly demonstrate the scale, the real story will be how we navigate this transfer, ensuring that the newfound wealth fosters progress without deepening divides. It's a dynamic, fast-evolving landscape, and we're only at the beginning of this journey.
It certainly gives us a lot to think about. I'm looking forward to the ripple effects in entrepreneurship, real estate, and, well, even everyday consumer habits.
And amidst all these changes, it becomes crucial for advisors, policymakers, and even families to sit down and have those important conversations about money management.
Yeah.
That way, the legacy of this wealth can truly be a force for good.
Absolutely. It's the kind of topic that invites both excitement and caution. And as we progress, we'll need to ensure that this historic wealth transfer benefits a broad spectrum of society.
A transformative period indeed, with the potential to reshape not just wealth distribution, but the very fabric of our economic and social lives. Thanks for joining me in dissecting this fascinating shift. It's been a great discussion.